right now, it's really the best time to read it. We're gonna talk about the book, which name is
The Narrow Road to the Deep North by Richard Flanagan.
To say it briefly, this book is about Australian captured soldier captured by Japanese army during Second World War who were working super hard by building railway station from Birm to Siam. This railway station was a wish of emperor, which is biggest law in Japan of this time. Also, of course, this book not about railway station at all. It's a perfect brief description of very controversial Japanese mentality, and a very big role in this played, of course, figure of emperor. In 1945, when American government came to Japan, what did they do? Probably the smartest thing ever. They conducted a survey, and during this survey they realized that yes, world need a lot of public execution of people who were participated in Japanese side, yeah, during Second World War, but public execution of Emperor Hirohito is impossible because it will end all the opportunities to have real impact on Japanese people. Such a silent figure Hirohito was. So they created a strategy to represent emperor as a victim of militarized prime minister, of aggressively aimed politicians. And now, after 1945, Emperor Hirohito became a symbol of democracy, progressive values, and brand new democracy horizon of Japan. Along with the reforms, a new interpretation of kindness, a new interpretation of emperor have came to people. As I mentioned, at the same time, it's a love story about married man who for the first time in his life felt in love with another woman, and actually for the first time really felt something. And again, it's all turns on into very sophisticated story, not about just cheating or something, but a lot more deeper, which I don't want to spoil, and I couldn't. The book is incredible with how she's balancing between violence and beauty of haikus, because each and every capital starts from haiku, and actually it's gonna change your point on haiku, because we all know haiku is something very beautiful. Like, this is not one of this book haiku, but my favorite one is like, which I find so far the most beautiful one, and nobody so far told me they don't like it. Like, uh, in the dark night, losing sight of a nest, the plover cries. A plover is a bird, you can see it here. But what I want to say is that this haiku is a perfect representation that on the first side we see a beauty of something, but it always consists sadness. It always consists that we have accept the existential of life the way it is, and it's no escape from existential of life. Another haiku, which is in the book, that we all walking on the roof of the hell and observing how the flowers bloom, which is also about same thing. So this book is actually about how war, how the most violent, brutal and unbelievable things which you are witness of can somehow turn you into another personality, and not only traumatize you, but also it brings another view of life. It's somehow all this observing of Japanese soldier traditions and rituals also show us how Japanese culture somehow has this violence as excuse for everything, because everything was going on excuse for beauty of the world, for kindness of the world, and the kindness of the world is imperial. For years and then for decades he never played the horn at all, until at the age of 92, when he was dying in the hospital after 3 heart attacks, he raised the horn with a healthy hand to his lips and once again saw the smoke and smelled the smell of burning meat, and suddenly understood that it was the only thing that ever happened to him. And how close, how close haiku, observing of sakura, this obsession with everything be perfectly clean is common with the violence. And yeah. I stood behind the prisoner, established my balance, and carefully examined his neck. Old and thin, with dirt and wrinkles, I will never forget that neck. Before everything had started, it was already over, and I wondered why there were small drops of food on my sword that could not be wiped off the pen they gave me. That was all I could think about. Where did the fat came from on such a thin neck of such a thin man? His neck was dirty grey like the ground you are sitting on, but when I cut it open and opened it, its colors were so bright, so alive. Red blood, white bones, pink meat, and the fat, yellow. Life, these colors were life itself. One of the officers, the most violent one, was dying, and that's what was he thinking about. He told himself that in the course of the service he had discovered that he was not one man, but many, that he was capable of the most terrible deaths which he might otherwise have considered bad, if he had not known that they serve the highest goodness. For he loved poetry above all else, and the Emperor was a poem in one poem. Perhaps he sought a greater poem, a poem that contained the universe and surpassed all morality and all suffering, and like all great art, it was beyond good and evil. At this moment, I'm gonna sum up why we need this book right now. Uh, because besides of this PTSR things, all these traumas and violence experience, this book is also about very, very quality after war reflections. Um, Forever weird it sounds, it also shows the beauty of life, which is possible, which is exist even during the war. And right now we know it as never before because of Ukrainian example. Don't forget to donate. Now we need it more than ever. And sum up, press the ring bell to not miss anything. Bye.